Well, Talisman very much is a game that the fans can really get behind. I mean, over the years it's had several expansions. With the first and second editions, there were the expansion set Adventure, Dungeon, City, Timescape, Dragons. The last three expansions that were made for it were actually made by fans of the game who had written to Games Workshop, and their ideas got taken on board. And those are still part of the Talisman mythology now that the game is with Fantasy Flight Games. Many people will make their own characters for the game. People will say, "Oh, I saw a brilliant film last night. That would make a really good character, that would make a really good enemy, that would make a really good stranger for the game." And they make their own. There are several online tools for doing that, or you can just simply draw it out on a piece of paper and proxy it with a different playing piece or something like that. It's limitless in its appeal. My favourite expansion for Talisman will probably have to be... Oh, I'm going to start that again because I can't think of it at the moment.
It's yours, isn't it? I knew you wanted to.
No. My favourite expansion for Talisman will have to be the Reaper expansion from Fantasy Flight. Basically, if you've got the base game of Talisman, you have 104 adventure cards, although you get a fantastic amount of diversity with the decks, etc. It's limited, so you know that sooner or later a gnome's going to come out, sooner or later you're going to be upset because the raiders will take all your gold. But the Reaper adds another 90 odd cards, I think. That then increases the adventure exponentially. Then you have card only expansions like the Frost March, the Sacred Pool and the Blood Moon, which add even more to the adventure deck. You have other expansions that add whole new regions to the board, with the Dungeon, the City, the Highland, and Fantasy Flight have just announced that the Woodland is the next expansion coming out. And there was also the Dragon's Tower in the centre of the board, which is a very tough expansion, and you have to know what you're doing if you're playing that one. People playing the game make their own rules up in order to tailor it to their own group. Some people like to try and negate any randomness completely, so they'll do away with certain cards or allow characters to change rules, like, for example, using fate. Instead of to re-roll a die, you could pick a die roll, etc., etc. But as long as everyone's agreed around the table that that's what the rule is, there is no problem. You could say that you visit 1,000 groups playing Talisman, you'll see 1,000 different games of Talisman going on. That's what I like about it.